Hey everybody, it's Sam Amico from hoopswire.com, Hoopswire Live. I also do the Big Play Sports Network Full Court Cleveland show. Well, now I'm starting my own YouTube page. I'm late in the game, probably 20 years late in the game, but you know, we're going to talk a lot about the Cavaliers, a lot about the NBA in general. We're going to leave the mistakes in, and there's going to be plenty of them. I'm going to take you to work one of these days. Later this week, actually, I will take you to the Full Court Cleveland show with Rafa Hernandez Brito, the host, and the Cavs Spanish play-by-play guy, and Daniel Booby Gibson, former Cleveland Cavalier, is generally there. Ryan Tyler, our producer, who you've seen on Hoopswire Live, I hope. And we're going to talk a lot about the NBA, but also bring you along a little bit with my coverage on this channel. So it'll be a little different than the other channels. I hope to take you, behind the scenes a little bit, give you a look at my somewhat exciting, somewhat boring life, but we'll be here all the way. So today, really, if I probably write like 12 to 20 posts every day on Hoopswire Live. Now, granted, these are short, most of them. Some of them, the ones about the Cavaliers, tend to be a little longer. The ones about the Lakers tend to be a little longer because people seem to stay on those posts a little longer, and that's always the goal. So the reason I bring that up, 12 or 14 posts, is because I want to talk about some of them on this very channel, but I write so many posts every day that I forget sometimes what I've written unless it really stands out. And the thing that stood out today on Hoopswire Live is, I'll show you the one at the very top, is this one on Giannis Antetokounmpo that we've talked a little bit about over the past couple days, and that's because Ramona Shelburne from ESPN.com wrote a story about Giannis's future in Milwaukee. That's been year-long speculation, and now there's talk that he wants to play. The Bucks want to shut him down because they're looking at the lottery and the NBA draft and trying to get the likes of a Darren Peterson or Cameron Boozer or all the other guys, which we have a lot of that on the website as well, a lot of coverage of the NBA draft. We're going to pick that up now during the NCAA tournament. So hopefully you know all this already by checking Hoopswire Live every 15 minutes. and you don't have a life. That's what I'm banking on at, did I say Hoopswire Live? At hoopswire.com all the time. So the story today is really, our big story is the Bucks did talk to the Cavs apparently, or were at least targeting one of the players that they had in mind if they were going to trade Giannis Antetokounmpo before the trade deadline was Cavaliers' Evan Mobley. Interestingly, another player who was mentioned in there was the Sixers rookie guard, fantastic rookie guard, VJ Edgecombe. But we'll focus on Mobley for now. And we've been hearing that buzz, for a while, Giannis for Mobley. As I wrote in the story, that's worth monitoring this summer. But so much of what happens with Evan Mobley moving forward, or the Cavaliers moving forward, is, they made that trade for James Harden, so they're in win now mode, right? They didn't trade a 26-year-old guard for a 36-year-old guard to try to, they're not thinking 5 years down the road or even 2 years. They're thinking right now. Ryan Tyler and I talked about on Hoopswire Live, which I'll put the links to all of that on this YouTube page, Hoopswire Live, hoopswire.com. and the Big Play Sports Network and all that. But Ryan Tyler and I talked about, are these current Cavs as constructed enough to get past the Celtics in the NBA playoffs this season? Right now, neither of us are confident that that would be the case. Now, things can change. Things always change. Nobody thought the number 4 seeded Indiana Pacers were going to the NBA Finals last season. A lot of people didn't believe the Oklahoma City Thunder would be there, and they were the number 1 seed in the West. So a lot can change during the playoffs. I think the Cavs right now are the second best team in the Eastern Conference. That's because Boston's playing remarkably well, and they have Jason Tatum back. They've been really the biggest surprise. I mean, obviously, I'm leaving out the Detroit Pistons and New York Knicks. This is just my own personal feelings. These aren't facts. It's just what I've seen in years of experience covering the NBA. I think the Celtics are there, number 1. The Cavs, 2. Pistons and Knicks, 2A. It's very close. So, but everything that they do this offseason is going to be predicated and a result of what happens during during the playoffs. If the Cavs get to the finals, yeah, you can shut down the Giannis talk because that's a big risk. Number 1, he can't stay on the floor half the time. He plays when he's on there, he's remarkable, but he's on the wrong side of 30 now, and he can't stay on the floor. He plays this game. He plays with these huge long strides. That's his entire game, is these long strides getting to the basket, and he can jump. He's got great leaping ability, great athleticism, but that tends to create those long strides, as we've seen with Giannis, a lot of lower leg injuries. So that's something to consider. The other thing is, if Milwaukee's willing to trade for Evan Mobley, how long does that haunt you within the division with as talented as Mobley is? Yes, there are frustrations about him. I think over the last 12 games, he's had probably one of the best stretches of his career. And we look at Jared Allen when James Harden came to town, the best stretch of his career. I asked Jared Allen, is this the best stretch of your career? And he said, yeah, I think so. He said, the numbers speak for themselves. So, and Allen credited James Harden. And Evan Mobley credited James Harden. Now, James Harden's 36 years old, not going to be around forever, but he's building confidence in our big guys if you're the Cavs. That's the way you look at it. So, the full article, Giannis buzz worth monitoring, but Cavs focus remains on what's ahead. So check it out on hoopswire.com. I don't want to inundate you with super long videos on here, though when I take you to work, it'll be much longer and you'll enjoy it. So I want to direct you to that particular post. Obviously on hoopswire.com, we cover the entire NBA, and by we, I mean myself. So there's a lot of other stuff on there too. I've got the Talkin' Cavs Hoopswire Live video on there as well. So I don't want this to be an ad for hoopswire.com, but a lot of stuff that I'm going to say here is actually on the website, and this is kind of the nutshell version of it, summary version. What's on the website is a little more in depth, and I run Hoopswire Live and Full Court Cleveland and all that other stuff on the website, as well as coverage of every NBA team. We even have, I think, 2 stories on the Wizards today. So if that doesn't excite you, I don't know what will. But thank you so much for joining and following along. This is my 20th year covering the NBA. And yet I still look, how old was I when I started? I still look 31. So, in 20 years, you'll probably look at this video and say, gosh, remember when Sam Amico wasn't so good looking as he is now at 70? Or maybe not, I don't know. Either way, thanks so much for joining and following along through the years. You guys are the reason that I've been able to build this career. Without you, I don't get to cover the NBA. So thank you so much for following along, and we will see you on this very channel next time.